Hello everybody, and welcome to our accounting quick hit video on the topic of cost of goods manufactured. So my goal with these quick hit videos is to take a larger topic in accounting and break it into a manageable piece. So we're going to first start off with the cost of goods manufactured. The very first thing we need to talk about is that when we say manufactured, we're really saying completed, this period. How many goods, what cost of goods related to the units we completed this period, regardless of when the costs were incurred. Now, the reason I say that is that not all units are completed in the same period they are started in. Some of them either take more than one period, or they were started toward the end of last period and then just happen to be completed in this period. It's all about timing. We are concerned about when the goods are completed, and then we roll up all the costs related to those goods and count them in that period. So we identify all the manufacturing costs that have been used in production throughout this current period. That's one piece of this overall statement. We've got to identify the direct materials used, the direct labor used, and the manufacturing overhead applied to production in this period. So this is the first piece, what has been created this period, not necessarily completed yet. So I do want to draw that distinction between the current manufacturing costs that we are adding this period versus the cost of goods manufactured. And as we said before, the cost of goods manufactured is all the costs of everything we completed this period, regardless of when those costs were added. Whereas the current manufacturing costs are just those added this period. The current manufacturing costs are necessary to calculate the overall cost of goods manufactured. We also need to know what costs we had left over from work in process last period, because those were started last period. Maybe they're going to be completed this period. We take this, it's beginning inventory, we add in the costs from this period, and we subtract out the cost of goods that we have not yet completed because they're not manufactured yet. And that ending amount gives us the cost of goods manufactured. So I want to draw your attention to this calculation because we're going to use it 3 different times. Beginning inventory of whatever item we're talking about in our 3 different instances, plus some sort of addition, which could be the cost of purchases for one of the times, the current manufacturing costs for a different instance, and the cost of goods manufactured for the 3rd instance. This will make a little more sense when we see the example in just a bit. When we add those additions in, we're going to get a subtotal that is referred to either as the materials available for use, the costs available to complete, or the cost of goods available for sale. We're going to subtract out the ending inventory because obviously it was not completed or used or whatever in that case. And we're going to get our final number we're looking for, either the cost of materials used in production, cost of goods manufactured, or cost of goods sold. This is an example of the statement of cost of goods manufactured. The first thing we need to calculate would be the materials used. So we take the beginning balance of materials plus what we've added in this period through purchases. That gives us the materials that are available to use. We subtract out the ending balance because obviously we did not use those, and we get the cost of materials that we did use. That's the first current cost. Plus we add in the direct labor, that's the second current cost, and the manufacturing applied, that's the 3rd current cost. When we sum those 3 together, we get current manufacturing costs, which is where we start the 2nd instance of our calculation. Current manufacturing costs plus the work in process beginning balance, that gives us the total costs in process. Subtract out the work in process that we have not finished, the ending balance, and now we have the cost of goods manufactured that we're looking for. The 3rd instance is simply cost of goods sold. Again, finished goods beginning balance plus that cost of goods manufactured we just calculated equals the cost of goods available for sale, that subtotal. Subtract out the finished goods that we did not complete, the ending balance, and that gives us the cost of goods sold. So hopefully this quick hit video has helped you to understand the topic of the cost of goods manufactured and cost of goods sold. I look forward to talking to you in our next video.